She connaissent, she connaît passer. She connaissent, she connaît ça passer.
It's just Jagz Nation, baby.
Hurled from the sky like a discus. A god is falling from Olympus, dethroned from high, thrown from the sky. Why? He should live alone till he die. He forged him a sign, endorsing his crime, sovereign rhyme, enforcing the laws of the lords of the shine. Born with the spine, formed from the remnants of Optimus Prime. In the darkness, words formed in his mind. Blind, double-edged swords that'll rhyme. So a nigga got resourceful with his time. The forces of time, life formed in his kind. Servants in the vine for the merchant of rhyme. Sovereign rhyme, urban and fly.
Also trying to separate yourself in terms of where you were coming from with the art, and you're like, I'm a god on the mic, and I feel like it was a cosmic approach to it. And when I mean cosmic approach, I'm like and as it was actually illustrated in the video, you were speaking like a god to everybody else. Were you intentional about it to show your difference in terms of your hip hop artistry to every other MC and show yourself as the greatest?
Zim, the real story is this. Many are called, few are chosen.
Yeah.
I was already good with myself before all this film.
Yeah.
When I met Olamide, I could see it too. Like, there are some people who know. If you meet Burner, you meet Wizzy, you meet M.I., there are few people on this earth.
Yeah.
And we're many. So we think celebrities are many, but we're not many.
There's
I have some.
There's a
I have
type.
my crew in Jaws, man. Like, they're niggas you meet that, you know, they know themselves.
The stars.
It might not be the version of what you think
What I
self
think,
should
yeah,
be,
yeah.
but they undoubtedly know who they are.
They are. Yeah. So like, but as they know who they are, in this particular song, you expressed an identity of self
That's all
by
it
saying
is.
I'm a god on the mic.
Which song
And everybody
did I
else
say?
God on the mic.
So God on the mic, literally, let me tell you what I was writing.
And you can brag, bro. You can, because you're allowed.
No,
It's a long time
I'm about
coming.
to. That's
you
the
know?
only reason I wrote them. Was hurled from the sky like a discus. A god has fallen from Olympus. Show me two better lines for any song.
You see why I like that line is it takes me back to high school. Even if I didn't understand that line, when you talk about discus, it takes me to high school sports, you know what I mean? Where I start to think, and then I start to see you like, okay, this guy is like,
But what I'm really trying
I'm
to say
hailing from
is tell you,
Olympus.
if you've ever seen a discus hurled from out of life onto earth, then a spirit has now been embodied in the
flesh.
material, in the flesh. A god has now fallen down, dethroned from high, thrown from the sky. Why? He shall live alone till he die. Whether you marry, whether you go secondary school, you are alone. Life is a lonely path to follow. You only live it yourself. Only you knows what pain or joy is. No matter what I say, you have your own
I have
reason.
my own understanding, yeah.
But they're all common to every man.
But why do you think at the same time, you know, they took dynamics to this god on the mic? Because you're saying also dethroned.
What I'm saying is
But
this.
yeah.
From the first cipher that ever happened, Tim Westwood.
Yeah, I remember that.
Watch any cipher that Jagz has been on. Listen. Transcribe what every rapper said and read it. Don't just bob your head.
Pick the game.
Peep the game. Peep the game. Listen to what I'm telling you and just do come on. Black man, come on. Jesus.
So that's why that song stood out for me, because it was like, you know, like in our earlier conversation off camera, we were talking about how the cosmos is aligned to the waters and the waters to the land and how it all manifests. So you were speaking from that and into the waters through a flow, and it manifested through,
And like we're saying,
in the form of the song.
what you're seeing behind, what you're hearing is not CG. It's actual rain. It's not planned. This is not, yeah,
It's
like.
water.
Yeah.
And like,
Fuck this picture.
This guy,
So. Yeah.
wow.
Every man should have what they aspire to be.
Mama and Papa, your son Jesse Jagger is really getting hotter. Yeah, I'm getting hotter. Spit what's straight from my heart. Don't close it up, stay true to the art. My boys come and we light up my yard. I don't know if you feel it, but it's banging.
International flow, international do, that international. What I'm trying to say is this. Today, what we call international soccer in the world is the Caucasians man local league. Chelsea is what? A local
league. Yeah.
That third world country is called what?
International football.
That have the biggest gambling, and in African language, if you're West African, cha-cha, gambling, yeah, going on, yeah, young kids now are putting 10K on one football match on a local league that we call what?
International.
Where's the Zimbabwean fucking local league? Who watches that? Who watches Just League? Do 1,000 people watch what happens in Just Stadium in Lagos? No.
We're all channeled to one program, and we are distracted from seeing.
But that's
who
their
we are
local
around.
league. Oh.
And they're channeled to the local league, and they're broadcasting it worldwide.
That we here are calling what?
International.
Where is yours? You bloody fucking African.
Yeah, man.
Where is yours? Why doesn't the world respect you unless you're affiliated with them? Come on.
So your international, as I've come from, because when you were recording this album, you were there, and you came and you changed the
Is
perspective.
Africa not the international world to them? Is Africa not where white people dream to come to? To come and walk with lions? To come and see nature, to come and see rain falling like this, and there's no flood? There's no earthquake, there's nothing.
Crazy. But the way you delivered the song was different from this understanding that you're downloading. So you make it simple, you make it look easy, but it's as deep. How do you do
We're
that?
locally blown, internationally known. And you cannot do this without knowledge
Knowledge of what?
of self.
Okay. How do you find self?
Set out to find yourself.
How did you set out to find yourself? For when you then say, Thy
Boss,
nation
can I
come.
tell you the truth?
Yeah.
And that's why I told you that choice and destiny are the same thing. Who doesn't choose how to do it didn't have the destiny behind you. Who had the destiny chose out to go and find it. So choice and destiny together. If you are not chosen, you're not going to have the energy to work it out. If you can work it out, then you are going to end up chosen.
Mm. That's an international message. Steady going.
Okay, mama, we on that. Stacks is what I'm sitting upon that. We the bomb now, we explode when we perform that. Nigga ball hard, I be LeBron now. I'm so legendary, extraordinary. 2 shots to the chest of this Bloody Mary. I've been drinking heavy, killing them niggas steady. 2 Hail Marys for this nigga in the Serengeti. Where the sun do scorch cause it's peri peri. I seen vultures, they thinking they getting dinner ready. Cause they feeding on my flesh, I'm in the cemetery. It turns out that I'm sorta what these sinners envy. A nigga vanished, I'm reestablished. I'm making niggas panic, even Hispanics. Universal flow, I speak a no language. The revolution's televising on a different bandwidth. Tune in and get your mind zoomed in and understanding. You just landed on a different planet where gravity and pain keep a nigga grounded. You'll soon get around it. When I'm on the mic, they dumbfounded. Got these niggas saying, goddamn, you don't found it. I know my whole style sound rounded. Nigga, you'll soon get around it.
I'm sure you can steady go.
Stacks is what I'm keeping up on now. We the bomb now. We explode when we perform now. Niggas ball hard. I be LeBron now. I'm so ordinary, extraordinary. 2 shots on my chest of this Bloody Mary. I've been drinking heavy. 2 shots in the Serengeti. Nigga, go like undoubtedly the raps on Thy Nation Come are light years ahead of those on Jagz Streets.
Of course, even
And
the
then
music
when
itself,
you
yeah.
move to RNC, you can hear the growth again.
Yeah, but there's a symbiosis.
But there's a symbiosis
Yeah.
because I set out to find out that as a black man, everywhere you go on earth, you are going to be a black man. And to understand that is the greatest thing.
Mm.
If you don't know, you know. It's a double-edged sword. Everywhere you go, you're going to be a black man. But if you don't know, you no go know. Now Jesus or another religion you dey follow, you no know your own.
Steady going from international, right? Like you're saying, this is a local voice going international, and now I'm steady going. You know how you're breaking down the words. This,
Now,
Yeah.
how we on now? Stats is what I'm sitting upon now.
I feel like from the journey,
Explode.
from the journey. This is like me looking in from the outside, from the journey that you had traveled, like the hustle that you had gone through, you know, and then for you to be able to now say on this particular path that I took, now I'm international, you know, and I'm steady going because remember the
So
path.
this is the song I wanted to answer this for you. A lot of people ask me, Jago, why do you only rap in like English?
Mhm.
Fella only used pidgin English. That was what he needed for his time. This is not the 1980s. I went to a fucking missionary school. I intend the whole world to listen to what I have to say and to be able to convey my
The
message.
message, yeah.
I don't play with English. I read to be able to understand the words.
The words.
Same thing with any other language.
Other
If you're a Yoruba person and you're just relying on the Yoruba they taught you, and you're not speaking with older people, you haven't gone to shrines to open up and know what words mean, then you have nothing. So for me, pidgin is a product of English.
So English is what you are now using to communicate on an international
What I
level.
mean is this. Pidgin only came because the black man needed to communicate with the white man. If you are elite African, you speak
English.
If you can't speak English, you speak what?
Broken.
In every African country, there's what is called what?
Broken English.
That Nigerians call what? Pidgin.
Pidgin.
In Ghana, they call it.
In Jamaica, they still call it that. It's patois, but it's still the same thing.
So we can communicate with that. But when I want to pass something across, I not only make music for the black man, I make for the fucking enemy. I make for the white man. And when you hear me,
let him comprehend.
I want your professors to respect me.
It's authoritative. It is, yeah.
I want them to be able to hear exactly what I was saying.
So it's the reason why in where you at, you're talking about that intellectual girl that will respect your intellect more than just...
A queen must respect the king, and the king must respect the queen.
So after international, like, you know, you embodied this whole thing that you're speaking about right now, and you expressed it through Jagz. Now you were telling the world, like, okay, this is like all these things that have been going on, it was just metamorphosizing into Jagz, into this person. What is it about Jagz that's peculiar to everything else, to everyone else?
The invention of life with the pen when I write. I affect all the events in the life, six senses are right. I rhyme slicker than a pretentious wife.
In the Nigerian music industry as a band, what was peculiar about you in 2013 when you released this to everybody else that you needed to emphasize that this is Jagz? Don't forget.
First of all, if there's any other A-list artist that was playing drum sets at age 6,
okay,
post it up. Let me see your witnesses.
Okay. At that time.
For MI to tell you guys Jagz is the greatest.
It wasn't just him being humble.
That's my scene, brother.
Yeah.
Who is the proudest motherfucker on it.
Okay.
For him to categorically tell you that. God damn. God damn. When we're doing all nights when we're young, when Emma and I are going to sleep, I'm not playing drums. I undyingly care about art. Art is life. All these sculptures we see in Africa, they weren't just playing, it meant something to the person making it. And that's why it's hidden.
So you're speaking at that point was hidden in the drums.
Hidden in the drums, hidden in the art, hidden in the dance, hidden in the quiet days.
Hidden in your demeanor as well. And like at that point everybody was in the spotlight except you. You were like hidden. You were like a hidden treasure.
Not just hidden, but I'm still fucking huge. I'm a fucking huge deal.
Yeah, treasures of darkness are hidden in secret places. Yeah. Steady going, Jagz, pedal to the floor now. See, I'm like, okay, this is me. I'm being honest. Like, I'm listening to Thy Nation Come. This is like the best thing for me in terms of
internationally. Sorry, this is African palm wine.
Shout out.
Dope.
Yeah.
Shout out to the palm tree.
Let me show you how we ride. Wings to the side. Fly. Here we're baby girl. Pedal to the floor, make money, money. Rocking the clubs and getting naughty. Look, we got you freaking, got you rocking through the weekend. Stacking money to the ceiling. Shout it, we got you freaking. Okay, yeah, we ready to go. Yeah, we ready to go.
Have this embodiment of Jagz now, like, you know, that great guy, God on the mic, you know, and MI it doesn't just call you the greatest for no reason, because it's real, you know. You then decided to press the pedal on the floor to accelerate that thing that you've been, this journey that we've traveled so far through the music, from the intro to Burning Bush, the revelation, to the Bed of Roses, to instructing people that, yo, we're coming from, you have to, for you to get that luxury, you have to come through the throne, the thorns for you to get to the throne, you know. Then you've navigated, you've also, you know, accepted the role of the woman in you being the hero you're meant to be in bringing about this nation. Yeah.
All due respect, Emma.
Yeah.
Shout out.
Shout out to you.
Shout out to Emma, senior.
Yeah.
However, Emma would say about the same thing about me,
Yeah.
which is I don't ever look at my art through the lenses of anybody else.
Okay.
Boom.
You don't ever.
I believe, and I'm gonna take you there.
Yeah.
I believe you are only here because I'm alive. If I
No.
wasn't alive,
Yeah.
there'll be no Jagz, there'll be nothing.
Yeah.
Everything else would have gone.
Yeah.
But I can only look at this world through my eyes. If
Through
I
your eyes,
wasn't here,
Yeah.
all this that people say is Jagz will not be.
Will not exist. Yeah.
So I'm humbled by being alive first. Then to now be in the discussion, oh, that's a different thing. And then we're all going to die. You get me, nigga. There's no Bentley coming for you from the sky. We're all going to die. We're all going to be buried, cremated.
But then that conversation continues. Do you know why it continues about you, especially from even just how was it breaking down the art? It's because you chose to die.
But it's first the music.
Yeah,
It's
even in the music, like you chose to die from that
Yeah, I
to
think
this part.
all life, every day is a sequence of life and death. Every day is you preparing for the greater exponential expanse of what it is. When people sleep, I have some of my niggas who are chatting shit all day. At night, they sleep and they are snoring soundly. But they are awake somewhere
else. Yeah.
So I think everything I think everything is tied into knowledge, but there is no knowledge without history.
But when you get the history, is that the reason why you need to accelerate forward?
But every man can create their own history.
Why is that?
We have had orphanages who have become orphans. Shit! That's it. Tiao, Nigerian music. We've had orphans, not orphanages. Orphanages who have orphans, who have made it out. We have had kids of rich people become nothing. So for me, I think everything is an expression of life. Everything is a law of physics or a law of chemistry or a law of alchemy or a law of maths. You know what I mean? Like, and I think it's what we call thanks and praise to other things we don't know. Because if you ask me today, how did I make it here? There was no book for it. I cannot tell anybody, oh, this is what I did. There's no book written for this. Nobody has studied what I've done.
But they need to start studying it. That's why we make
We are
it.
too many for that. And I'm saying, even for he who studies, he hasn't lived it. He's
Okay.
just studied. To live it and be it is a totally different
So,
thing.
but
To
that's
just come and study is a different thing. But I'm saying, you're allowed to study, but leave that 20% that says, oh, you didn't live it. The same way I cannot live the life that for him, I cannot be, what's his name? What's the white-haired poetry guy?
Olushega.
Legend of poetry. Get what I mean? Yeah. Bullshit. I should have known that. Sorry, guys. But this is drinks, and now we're now on palm wine. Damn, African wine is cute.
Overdrinks.
Damn. You know what I mean? But for me, every man has his own, and just because you have yours, I'm not going to come and kneel down at your temple and worship your God. No,
No.
that same spirit is in me. I'm going to get my own revelation.
Yeah.
Maybe 60% of what you believe and what I do are going to
Intertwine.
but there's going to be 40% of where we disagree, and we
Yeah.
must leave that 40% open for another generation to come and build.
and feel until it becomes 100%.
Thank you.
Until it becomes complete. So, a way of starting it, sativa. What is that's the next
My
track?
fire
There's a
and
ski,
my
but
fever.
yeah.
Spiritual healer, no sweeter. Mama Africa. So this song, Sativa and Africa, right? Yeah, so I started this like a joke, like the biological name for weed, as you know, marijuana, hemp. What people call it is sativa, cannabis sativa. And that name sativa in my head rhymed with what? Afri.
My sativa, my fire, my fever. Mama Africa, spiritual freer and healer. Mama sativa, my body and the river. Mama Africa, spiritual freer and healer. In the land of the living.
Yeah, so the rejected of the world. He who brings healing boy is going to be rejected.
Wow. Yeah. Story of my life.
Story of the black one. Story of every black one. Be you in London, be you in let me be African, you know what I'm talking about.
But what you just said right now makes a lot of sense to me because the content of the song is different from the title of the song.
And then the verses, living in the hood.
Exactly.
My mama taught me to be good. There was no money for kerosene or firewood.
Yeah.
You know that like our oil is still being engineered outside. But there's still the African option of firewood, but that is still an industry today. So I wrote that to anger, man. I wrote that like
I can feel it.
if you know who you are as an African, I don't need to tell these stories again. Yeah, for those who know, you know. For those who don't, read. You know what I mean?
Talking about reading, everybody knows cannabis through smoking. And I'm sure you have, since you speak about sativa, you have something you can share in terms of the knowledge of what people need to know about cannabis beyond just the demoralized. Share your perspective.
Get it deeper people. Then there's the middle range people. And then there's those that don't know.
Okay.
I only speak to those that know what the plant is.
Okay.
On every level. This is not, I'm not trying to sugarcoat this in any way. Educate governors, educate yourselves, man. President, educate. Pastor, educate, have references, read, dive in, check for yourself. You know what I mean? Like, man, if you don't know me, I'm good. I'm good. I'm still going to put out music. I'm still going to do anything. You go and check for yourself. You know what I mean? And I cannot say this enough. I cannot say this enough. Everybody that listens to my music, don't just follow me. Go and verify whether what I say is real for yourself.
Yeah.
So that you can verify it for yourself tomorrow. Don't say, oh, Jagz said.
Influence.
No.
Say,
Yeah, check for yourself. Check.
Research.
Check every spirit around you.
Yeah, city to city steak. I hope your city great. I got a tour coming soon. I hope your city wait. The beats banging to make your titty ache. Yeah, it's the kind of flow that make Biggie wake. You close your eyes and watch your spirit wake.
Hey girl, you like to party. Hey girl, you rock my world. I'm living life like the after party. With you, I know I'll be alright.
Yeah.
What was after party about? And I feel like
That was Brimo.
Brimo and
So I was almost done with the album.
yeah.
But Brimo has one of the dope best choruses. You like to party. And he wrote it himself, shout out. Living life. So we're living. Life is an after party of life. We don't know what's going on. Life is drunkenness. We don't know where we came from. We don't know what country we should have been born into. Yeah, we don't know what religion we should have been born into. We don't know. So life is an after party. Death is an after party. All around the world, when people pass away, what happens? A motherfucking party. When people are getting married, what happens?
Right.
When people are graduating, what happens?
Right.
When your first album comes out, what happens? Right.
So life is what happens
Every
after
year,
the party.
we have to celebrate birthdays. Like just remembering that you are still on this three-dimensional reality. Yeah, and you can remember, and human beings have to separate that.
I want to say something about, like, so far we've covered 15 tracks from the album. They're like 18, they're like 3 more tracks to cover. But what I've uncovered from the tracks, and as I was trying to emphasize throughout, like, there was something that was specific about the track arrangement. When you look at the message, thy nation come, as a human being, okay, that's a prophetic word that has been uttered, like, thy nation come. And then before you know...
You know what I really believe? 200 years from now, there's going to be a country called Jagz Nation.
Definitely, which is what I'm actually trying to show.
So it's not a joke.
Yeah. It's not.
200 years from now,
It's not. It's real.
based on how man is going to be, there is going to be a contract, what we call that nation. Yeah, translation.
So check this out, bro. Like, you have received a revelation that thy nation comes, the burning bush, and then bed of rose, like bed of roses. We're going to get to the promised land. It's like Martin Luther. I've gone on top of the mountain and I've seen the promised land. But you're saying, okay, this is what the promised land is like. It's a bed of roses. We have to go through the thorns, right? And then that is the man's desire to be free, which is the next track. Like your tracks were arranged in a very, very like aligned. It was a message that was,
But it's now that I can see that.
and I'm seeing it, and I'm
When I was doing it, I couldn't know. Everything a man does, you're not going to know. It's going to be 20 years later. You can look back in hindsight and be like, oh, it turned out fine.
that is why you're a vessel, which is what I'm emphasizing by breaking down this art. Like there was a messaging that people missed at the time, and even the vessel of it. When we are now explaining, like from desire, you have a desire because you just came, like you saw a vision and you saw how complete it could be.
I couldn't see.
No, I'm saying, listen to what I'm saying from how you listed your tracks, bro.
No, what I mean is this. I'm actually answering your question.
Yeah.
Like, all this, there's really no plan if you're chosen.
Exactly.
I couldn't see the eventual product of how
Which is
you could be able to look at it now and say, this is how
this
it
is
is.
art. That's
All I had when I was making this was just that undying feeling as I have now. That there's some things you must do for you. Human beings will follow later and make out what they want out of it. But when I was doing it, I really wasn't thinking about.
So let me tell you.
Oh, I want this to be the album that they're going to be talking about.
That's not it. That's not where I'm coming
You know
from.
that,
So what I'm saying is that's the thing that I'm unearthing and uncovering even to the people that are watching. That you were oblivious to it, but in your search for yourself,
comes from study. You cannot try to go to Australia and draw the map yourself.
Mhm.
You can only set out to go there. And then when you reach, you can tell people, oh, this is the map.
this is the map of Australia.
But you can't do the two things. So you're asking me whether I knew when I was doing
No,
it.
I'm not asking you.
I only knew I want to set out here.
I'm not asking you. I'm
Then when I
appreciating
was
you.
able to reach, other people are like, oh no, this is dope. But now people are trying to ask me like whether I knew.
No, I'm not asking you if you
I
knew.
just
I'm
said
actually
so.
unveiling it, how special you were. So people, there's actually a map to how you were in this. Like you were a vessel, like I say. Do you understand? The way the music is flowing, and it makes sense to someone existing today.
Reason, so you're not going to run away from this.
Why?
I am just a vessel. I'm not a superstar or anything. I'm just trying to be like
Because
pay attention to the
you're
times.
being humble, and I'm not even trying to toot your horn. What I'm trying to do is prolong that inspiration that came through you and make people reveal it to the people and make them understand. Pay attention.
Read a lot, man. Read.
Yeah.
Artists listening, read a lot, man. Oh.
Bro,
Read
after
everything.
Sativa and After Party, there's redemption. And even as you were saying what After Party was, now you've been redeemed. You know what I mean? Like this album is like revelations. That's what I was trying to get at. Because there's redemption, and redemption was like that mainstream song where even that sativa that we spoke about in the earlier song, you were even showcasing it in the video.
No, I didn't have a video for
Redemption?
Sativa.
No, you didn't have a video for, which is one.
No, but redemption, man. I would say this. After Fela, no other artist had marijuana in their video for 2 decades till Redemption came.
See what I'm saying?
And check the facts. Check on it. Even Fela did not have Big Boy in his videos. Check. So
That was the first time
Redemption is it. Before Redemption, I had done Murder Them. Murder Them is the precursor to that. At that time, the chief of army staff wrote to me and told me during Murder Them, Jago, God damn, don't ever fucking wear Nigerian camo and try this shit again. Then after that is where Redemption comes. Now show me any revolutionary video in Nigeria up until Redemption that has people rolling up the tree of life.
Man, them fi hear me out. Everything moving fast, yeah, wear me out. Man, pop, spliff, drink beer and stout. Man, them not fi wear me out, not fi wear me out. I swear, Babylon, them a fear me clout. Wanna know Jagga whereabouts? Everything in the news you a hear about. Just see Jagga air it out.
It's just a Jagz Nation, baby.
Man never fear nothing. Raised by the streets, we not wear nothing. Youth never hear nothing. Babylon Empire never share nothing.
Industrial hemp and all the things that thy nation is coming through that. And the redemption of it is coming through that. So this is like, like you say, 200 years from now, there's going to be a country called Jagz Nation. Because why? The prophecy
and everything
was
from that nation is
it was scripted.
Hemp.
Yeah.
I don't think we should call it Indian hemp. We should call it African hemp.
Why do you think? Because Africa is not the only people that Yeah. Hemp is not an African thing.
Boss.
It's a global
Boss.
thing. But the African context is what can drive the conversation.
This conversation up. If Indians think that they have hemp for Africans take, then we should have that debate.
Okay. That's a good conversation.
A mental debate. No fighting,
yeah,
bring your facts, I'll bring my facts. Okay. There's no place over there in Africa. Even rocks.
Oh, yeah. Baby girl, call me jailer, cause I'm a prisoner of love. Baby girl, call me Taylor, cause I will mend your broken heart. In the rain, every weather. Oh, say I will love you till the end. Baby, only you. We're gonna make my life complete. Baby, only you. My baby, only you. Where I see where they make me the happy, they make me the smile, I lose my mind. Yeah, baby, only you. My baby, only you. See how they see you, they make me the happy, they make me the smile, they blow my mind.
Me like them, Nina, have you seen her? We seen the rude girl in a beamer with Lisa and her sister. She a classic, she eat her. To see how you want need a visa. Oliver can, she a keeper. She sweeter than me reefer. She got a good head, she a reader.
My daughter. That song is written.
Okay.
Not in that sense, but from my daughter.
Yeah. From an
certain
artistic
lines. And as an artist, you're able to transcend 3 different dimensions.
Okay, tell us about
So
that.
I can't, from writing it, I'm not able to explain to you.
I feel like you're
But I can tell you
yeah.
that true musicians can really never explain where it comes from. because you don't set out. I didn't set out to be like, oh, I want a dope song
No.
that Wizzy is on, and no, it just happens sometimes. If you're there mentally, spiritually, psychologically at the right place, everything happens. Yeah, Wizzy happened. You know what I mean? Everything just comes together. And it doesn't mean that other things you do are not. Yeah, sometimes you're just at the right place at the right time. That is not, yeah, it's not, let's not make it cerebral. Yeah.
Yeah, we had kings in the palace, but now we off balance. I'm calling all Christians and Catholics. It might be time to get your prayer books and a chalice. Let the bishop know and send word to every parish. Everybody need to get ready like a savage. Everybody need to get the picture like Maverick. Zion never stop until the people is established. Yeah, we had kings in the palace. Time to let these niggas know to preach what they practice. Third world soldier nigga, everything is fascist. Cling to the power while we burn in the ashes. And the people getting butt fucked like faggots. Stealing from the people, now I have it. No harm done if they don't understand it. And the charm's gone, no feet for this rabbit. Always will be war when you feed the people panic. To them it's plain carrots and carriage. War and damage. Blame the youth when the old folk got no standards. Everybody manage, living on the average. I intrude like second wives in a marriage. Yeah, I know we need a king in the palace. Cause now we lost in this wonderland like Alice. Life is the canvas and knowledge the advantage.
And then there was Selassie. So in my own understanding of the album, right, how I was depicting you from the outside looking in, let me just summarize the album, which is why I was asking you these questions in a certain direction. You know, that you answered well, and I also learned as well, you know, how I could have seen it in terms of how I would have asked you those questions. Is Thy Nation Come, me now, I'm seeing perfect art that I'm relating with, and I'm going through my own experiences as a human being, right? And the intro is talking about, let me show you, you know, it's like me, I'm expressing to you now, like, let me show you what art is, because that art is an expression of my life, right? And you do Burning Bush. So I'm expressing in the first intro, I tell you that, yo, let me show you, and then I'm now expressing the revelation that gave me the confidence for me to tell you that this is what you ought to hear. I'm at the burning bush. I'm receiving that revelation, and I'm willing to take the sacrifice because I was in the castle and now I'm going into the wilderness, right? And then Bed of Roses, I then understand and comprehend the dynamics of the situation I'm facing now. Like, okay, at the end of this whole thing, it's gonna be luxury, but I have to go through the thorns, which is that journey of any person who wants to get somewhere that is really
I'll
relevant.
say all of life is a journey. Just pay attention yourself.
Okay.
Just pay attention yourself. Many people have gone through it. And nobody can teach you what it is. Just go through it. But there are keys, there are doorways you can learn. Things like your people's history. You always find depth there. Your continent's history. You always find it. Your ethnic group's history. You always find content there. You always find that spirit of life, that life must survive even when the conditions are not favorable. You find that story everywhere. You know.
So is that the reason why you then made the last track on your album, Selassie? Because Selassie is like an embodiment, according to the Rastafarians, of perfection of the second coming.
All Africans say this. The only recorded history of white people bowing down to black people is the coronation of Selassie. So watch it. Read what Ethiopia is. Read what Ethiopia was in the Bible. Read what Ethiopia was from the Roman text. Read what Ethiopia was from the Greek text. Understand how that has been morphed into something else. So for me, all stories are personal, but all stories must be national. They must be continental. They must be racial. They must be ethnic. They must have meaning. They must be spiritual. They must be intellectual. They must have something outside of the story. They must have something in the story that teaches, that is a universal truth on planet Earth. That's what keeps the story true.
So like Fela was right in a way where it was like when you have the music gift, you know, you just don't abuse it. It's a gift, so you have to use it right.
That was a bypass statement.
Okay.
That was a bypass statement. Fella, and two, I'm also saying a man is only going to be judged by what came out of his mouth. So if what you say doesn't happen, then you were fake. If what you says happens, then you will be real.
Yeah.
That's the only evidence. On Jupiter. Thought I was right. Not too many people are listening. But he was right. It's very right. It's very right. Within the context of even how he treated women, you need to understand what he was fighting about. Even femininity. At that time, none of us alive now as musicians have ever grown up under a fucking military. What the fuck are we talking about? Musicians are babies, nigga.
I think Jago, you're the blueprint of what the next artist who expresses what Africa is, because it started with Distant Relatives. That's why I connected with this album, because those are the pathways to actually finding ourselves.
But I dare to say this too.
Okay.
Reggae's foundation is in Africa.
Yeah.
Where is that?
Africa. Yeah.
But if we don't understand what they're talking about, we cannot have in the midst of the storm, we don't have a lighthouse. I stand in front there showing the light. Everybody speaks about Africa, whether derogatory, whether... Oh! After listening to this interview, please watch Black Panther again. Oh, there's a stone that is in Africa that is better than every stone, but they don't really know, but they're hiding it from other people, but...
Anyway, man, yeah, it was good chilling with you. Breaking down Thy Nation Come. For me, I was just trying to unearth the jewels that I got from the album. The fact that the times now, even then you were saying it. You were the verso that said it. It was in systemic order in the way you arranged the music, and the way you express the music as well. Now in retrospect, looking at it in retrospect, all the things that you were saying are playing out. And you are an embodiment of the type of attitude we need to embrace at this point in time, where we need to realize that we need to break off from that system that makes us attached and we feel like we're in a certain level, yet our war is in going forward. So if you break off
personally, I'm still going through it. You're
Exactly.
never 100% there.
And I see that in the next album that follows up, RNC, there's actually a connection in that, like it's a continuation of that. And artistically, you broke it down without knowing. And just me as a listener looking at art, I actually see how you're still transitioning, which is why you're still alive to be the voice of the people, which is why we are breaking down this art today. So whoever is seeing it in 2022, when it was released in 2013, can now start to follow the map. We're saying then is playing out now. Why would I want to still be dancing when there's fire on the mountain? You see, because thy nation has come. We're at a point, at a breaking point where it's either we make it or we break it. There's a global reset going on in the world. You know, that means nations are coming back. Whose identity are those nations? You know, who had, like, how do I relate to
because a nation means unity. Hence Jagz nation. Hence there's Nigeria, and then there's a Nigerian. There's Zimbabwe, and then there's Zimbabwean nation. The nation is something from the country. Country is just a geographic expression. The nation is something else. Something else. When we say we're many nations in Africa, that means a country is just a geographic expression. Just boundaries. We're talking about how many people.
So your next album was the Royal Niger Company. When you had said thy nation has come, you then took us back to history again. I thought the nation had come, but then you had to take it back to that identity of, from history. Like, let's find out from history, how we came about to become a country, so we can become a nation. We'll talk about Royal Niger Company in the next episode.
No, tomorrow. Boom, guys. Tomorrow, but tomorrow won't be how you watch it. But boom.
Yeah. So shout out, man. Thank you for being here. This is Overdrinks. We've been drinking palm wine.
Yeah.
Keeping it real. Cheers.
Glass is empty.
Glass is empty. But
No,
still.
give me some booze. No, we'll do a proper cheers. I don't finish the booze. Feel on. Thank you. Alright, let's go.
Alright.
Make way for the immaculate venomous flow when we attacking this. Jesse Jagz nation on the road since we established it. Any competition, niggas vanquish it. They know we own this shit. We showing ownership. We talking real money, they talking the load of shit. That folk colder shit, so a nigga rewrote the script. We stuck to rap instead of white collar shit. I got a mic instead of that college shit. And when I'm spitting now, niggas acknowledge it. I'm giving them the